Top stories from the Summer Skirmish Finals was obviously the bouts between Ayden and Nickmercs. Well, for the duos tournament this time around, they actually teamed on up. It's worked so far. We caught up with both players.
We had a little rivalry going, and you know, we both know Tilted together. It's our favorite spot to go. I think we have really good IQ, third-person shooting games, stuff like that. So I thought it'd be good to team up, you know, and just we work out great together.
We're good at adapting to what's going on around us. I think that's a pretty big strength for a Fortnite player, because you can't control 90% of the stuff that's going around you. You just got to make do with what you got. So what Ayden and I have been real good at doing is just being first to the punch. Just be first and attack. Go until it's over, baby, you know? You know, I'm not really used to my teammate being more aggressive than me. I'm not used to it, but the way Ayden plays, his play style, it's very aggressive, and it's smart aggression. You know, you just got to follow it up, and if you don't, you leave him at risk. So there were a couple times where I had to go. You know, there were multiple times where he put someone down or I put someone down, and I have never moved faster to secure an elimination in my life, not even for a second. We're moving.
Especially with the new gliding mechanic in the game. He got some snipes. We were bolting right after. We built upstairs. We were gone.
Sniper.
Yeah.
I'm not known for my sniper, but I've been putting work in. And there's a lot of little things that I think we do that we never really talked about. It's just happening. And I'm not even gonna talk about it. We're just gonna keep doing it. Don't break it, you know?
There are still players floating into it. Nickmercs and Ayden trying to establish dominance in Tilted Towers, but Super Evan and Godnick took the large gray building. We'll have to see a little 2v2 in the town here.
And you know, Nickmercs and Ayden, they're part of the controller gang. Hey, who's repping controller gang out there in the crowd? Hey, there's a lot of people rooting for that reason. Off the break, you see they land together. They mentioned their aggression. 99 players remaining, now 98 in the lobby as Cease goes down early.
Having seen Nickmercs and Ayden both play separately, it's impressive to me to hear Nick in that interview say that Ayden might be the only player he's ever encountered that is more aggressive than he is, and he's shown it many times in the past. Both of them mixing it up together, but they're...
Doesn't get much closer than that as we check back in with Tilted Towers. We knew earlier on from seeing the overall map view that there was only 4 players here in total. Now, it does look like a slight health advantage would go over to Godnick and Super Evan. You'd know Ayden's got his eyes on that big shield right inside that new building. As they'll just continue to rotate, work together, farming up those materials. 89 players left. And this is, as you mentioned, if you're watching maybe for one of the first times one of these events, these games play out much, much different. Why are there still so many players remaining? What is the main difference here, Lupo?
Players are looking to earn points, and it's based on eliminations and placement. And so putting themselves in bad positions, you know, exposing themselves just by being overly aggressive, going for eliminations is not necessarily the best play. In fact, I'd say it's probably the worst play. The crowd behind us as we switch between the POVs of Super Evan Godnick and
makes some noise every time there's someone you recognize, folks. Yeah.
But players, they're going to try and play more for position in a situation like this because you don't have to engage every single fight. You don't have to be aggressive. You play intelligently, you play strategically, and sometimes that includes waiting. So the player count right now is still 89 left. Only a few teams have gone down as we've seen people fight for the same POI when they land. And that's going to be pretty common, like you said, in a competitive match like this.
Ooh, and a nice suppressed epic assault rifle right there as they'll keep this high ground for the moment. They know that there are more enemies in Tilted. The question for them right now is where? Do they have eyes on? I do believe so, and the first shots come on in, and here comes that aggression. It looks like they're going right for it. The glide now for Nickmercs. Ayden with the follow. Who will claim Tilted Towers in game number 1? The build-up just narrowly missing the pump. As Ayden will continue to fight for this high ground. Another great pyramid placing to block that shot. There's one shield tag there as well. This is where Ayden is most comfortable as a player. And again, this aggression, hunting down their opponents at every waking moment. I believe Ayden didn't want to drop all the way that far down as he'll have to build back up. You take a look at the material count. Only 120 wood now remaining for Nickmercs, so 12 walls he can place. Godnick a little bit split from his teammate. Evan just trying to stay alive for now. It looks like they're going to go for it. Ayden hopping right on down. Stinks come in. There's the knock. You challenge them in Tilted, and you might play with fire as they look to push down on the final one. Will they strike first? They've got him weak. Nick still chasing, shot from Ayden. They've got him pinned in the stairs. This could be it for Godnick and Super Evan. Ayden,
there it is! Ayden and Nickmercs saying this is my tilted towers. Pick a different PLI to land at.
As you'd expect. They claim it, and there's that aggression. Using the new glider redeploy, flying right on in. Remember, we're still using those most recent updates with some of the new weapons in. We just have the Nickmercs disabled, so you won't see the cube monsters, you won't see the...
At that point, you saw Frosty just waiting for the rotation out. Ayden stuck in that box.
And yeah, at this point, there's just so many people everywhere. I mean, look at this. It's not even like, where should I land? It's, is there a place that I can even land? That's safe.
You know it's bad when your best option is landing in a set of buildings that there's a fight literally already happening in. Now, Nick, the shots here. Ooh. Excellent on Zextro, but gets caught off guard by his teammate Vinny. Ayden trying to rotate in, do anything that he can to help Nick in the middle of this fight. You see him dropping in there as Vinny and Zex. Vinny literally 1 HP at that moment, but Nick didn't realize that both members of that team were in this structure. Dropping down, trying to go for the save here.
Honestly, this fight probably looks a little bit different if Ayden on the way in doesn't take like 90+ points of damage. And you saw that's a really smart play from Ayden. They knew they were at 2 eliminations. He knew his game was basically done right there. And you see, he goes, I got him. He turned, and it launches you so far into the sky that you can fly anywhere on the entire map. Talk about the ultimate rotation.
Exactly. Literally going anywhere from one pivot location is pretty crazy.
JDW and Ronan barreling down towards C9 Blind and Hysteria.
Team floating in northeast.
Don't. I thought he was going to try to take the shot.
I still want him to. He's got 25 heavy rounds, minus exposing your position.
Is this versus Vinny and Zextro? I'd assume so.
It almost has to be based on what we saw earlier.
And they were the ones who got in the fight earlier on. Zextro just gives it up. He flies away. And,
going for it, though.
Ayden's chasing this, and Nick is nowhere nearby. And you can tell that's their communication. Nick is saying, whoa, 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 whoa.
Another team shows up. Ayden might have playing out a position that's going to be tough. Hopefully he can save himself inside the factory building here west side of Leaky Lake, but we'll have to find out. Nick finally making his way over. Slowed down a little bit based on the building, and this split could be tough for Ayden and Nickmercs.
You got to wonder, did Ayden bite off more than he can chew? Nick now there, doesn't get any tags with the assault rifle, and Ayden, look at the health. Down to just about 30 left. He's got some minis he can pop in time. And the zone's now there as well. Nick's just going for it. He's in a fight by himself, gets attacked twice with the pump shotgun, no one limb yet. Pops the rift to go and drags one player with him as he's basically just trying to reset this fight. Scrappy stuff all around Leaky Lake. Players all over the place. Nick with no healing left, no shields he can pop. Ayden very low as well. Sees one just below, but can't get a tag again with the assault rifle.
That second mini, anything to build up as much of a buffer in terms of taking damage as they can. They didn't know have a top down on his opponent. Uses the stink, kind of damages himself a little bit, but look for the shotgun shot, gets the knock on Zex with that stink grenade.
Beautifully placed grenades
underneath there.
Does one tag, and it doesn't appear so. He's got Ayden firing down as well. They need this final limb. I believe if they get this, it'll put them at 4, so they've already got another point in this one. Ayden traveling on in, looking to give Nick the help he needs. Can't connect again with a shot. Nick goes down. Will Ayden hit the shot? He's whipped a few times now. Who was just going to sit and heal there all day. That's the reason why they were able to win it. Again, Super Evan and Godnick, this is how they wound up winning this battle this time around. It helps when you get a legendary double barrel off the break.
That early in a game is impressive. Super Evan.
So I'm saying, that's why they wanted to take him out quick, because now Cease is there as well. Super Evan and Godnick fighting Ayden and Nickmercs again for the 4th straight game now, I think.
Ayden's got the knock this time, which means a 2v1 situation as Ayden's healing, but Nickmercs has a top-down view on these two, and he could go for the elim there. SMG securing that first elimination for this duo in Tilted.
Super Evan
all the way down to the bottom, getting the med kit. A full use there, which means 100 HP, and for a player like Super Evan, these competitive players, 100 HP might be all that he needs to take out this duo, depending on positioning, rotation, maybe a quick edit and a shot through a window.
That's all you need.
To see here, saw a trap in Nick's inventory. Ayden kind of waiting on the stairs. See his opponent rotating around. The angle here might be good enough. He's going to go for the stink and gets himself instead. He's going to have to rotate back away from that. Nick is still able to move through it, but that's damage ticks on Ayden if he moves down. He's not going to. He's going to try and skirt it around the edge.
And there in the elimination feed, you actually elevate just shotgun, Horrify, and Vanitai, so they get in that scrappy fight. It takes them just so long to get that other elimination that they draw all his attention. That gives Elevate time to push on in before they can heal. And just like that, they're dropped. Oh, Ayden just got chunked.
Shotgun there. Nick's going to try and smack out the roof above. A pinch here, kind of a sandwich. Looks like a third team. Vinny and Zexro, we've seen very aggressive in the past. I saw a legendary heavy shotgun in the inventory, I believe, of Vinny, as Nick and Ayden are trying to build inside this building. I'm thinking at this point, Ayden probably has no healing. The trap maybe preventing a push. Nick might go for a drop down, and he goes for it and gets Super Evan on. Oh my gosh, Jack.
The game sense. The game sense to know to do just that.
That's why Tilted belongs to Nick and Ayden, my friend.
But now look at what Zexro and Vinny are doing. They're max shields. They are in such a brilliant position to do some damage. I think Nick and crew, they're going to try to disengage for the moment. They don't want this fight. And this has been the same sequence of fights that they've had each game so far. They fight Super Evan and crew. Then it's immediately Zexro and Vinny who wind up pushing to fight them. I would almost be certain that Nickmercs and Ayden know it's these two. And that's why they're playing it this way.
At this point, too, I feel like Vinny and Zexro have to have this as their strategy because they know that these two teams are going to get engaged with each other, and they have a history of making it last quite a while. So an opportunity for the third party is almost easy. It's not scripted, but you know it's rice floating up top. Nickmercs and Ayden still in tilted at 2v2, and both of them with quite a bit of shield and HP. 100, 100, 195. So the trap taps from above. A team maybe not realizing that they're up there. Built himself into a little bit of a box. He's going to edit his way down. Trying to escape this. This point probably looking for Ayden for a little backup, and there it is. Ayden taking shots as that other team starts to float down, but somebody lands up top of this red brick building and able to deal 30 damage to Ayden. Looks like another team coming from the basketball court, the northwest corner of Tilted. Nick, bottom floor here. And look, you got a couple teams coming in here, Jack. Pate, Dementos, Zexro, and Vinny up top. Diggy in perfect tilt over just past L's. The most eliminations for any player in this game right now, still only 2 for Horrify. I say only as if it's not very many, but 85 players remaining, only 15 have gone down, and Pate and Dementos. Look at this, any material they can get. They're in the bottom of this building, and it's the floor, but they're gonna knock it out in an attempt to get every little bit, every build they can pick up is important.
Yep, seems like that's now their home. Still chill down there for the moment.
That teddy bear didn't deserve that, Ayden. He doesn't even give materials, Jack.
Yeah. Dang. You know, shows Ayden's true
True
character.
colors coming out.
It's again, the people, you just tell how horrified the viewers were. Nick just staying in it. It's crazy to think that Nick having 62 shield and Ayden having just about near that as well is the least amount of shields of the players in Tilted. That's how healthy everyone here is.
If you're not watching, if you don't have friends watching, tell them to watch. Get in here. Nickmercs and Ayden is knocked with almost no HP. The save might be impossible. Nick's going to try and defend against this. His own trap above him, boxes himself in. He's going to go for this med kit. He's only got 39. At this point, if he feels outclassed, he needs to pop that rip to go, and he's going to do so, taking both opponents with him. A full reset, and there is a team up top. Vinny and Zexro have that top down still on everybody. He's going to wall himself off, both a wall and a ramp to try and save it. He's going to go for that med kit usage. 39 HP could mean the difference between surviving this and being eliminated, but you hear that.
Make It Rain has begun. Who will win the $20,000 Make It Rain bonus? Again, that's the most eliminations in zones 3 and 4. Zexro has been up top tilted on that huge build for the last, like, 5-6 minutes.
It's been a while.
See every single area getting touched here.
And we've seen a number of players hit the same spot pretty much over and over again. We saw Dusty Divot, the same teams landing there. Ghost, Ayden, and Nickmercs.
Straight out of Tilted Towers.
Those are your cumulative stats. By the way, 9 elims, 2,758 damage dealt. A little more than that damage received. Quite a bit of wood acquired. The materials used, only 5,180. It does not surprise me because Tilted Towers has quite a few wall structures that are already built.
Yep.
Got Nick looking like he's already picked up some shield, rotating around inside. Ayden, Nick, not shielded just yet. That 6-shooter picked up for only a moment and then replaced. Gray burst, now the gray AR. He's got a legendary heavy sniper rifle. Good for, I mean, a body shot with that still does 157 damage, so Gomnik's not safe from that. Neither is Super Evan. They have to be over that. You know, another full shield or anything can make them quote-unquote immune to an instant knockdown. The grappler, though, here from Nick, I would not be surprised if when they both feel ready, that grappler is going to be utilized to get all the way up on top of that big gray building that the opponents have always landed in.
Yep.
Try and get a drop down on him. He does have a trap as well. They're going to rotate away, actually, towards the basketball court. Maybe looking for more loot because Nick doesn't have any shield. No shield yet means probably no push, and they're looking for any. I
think that's exactly what they're thinking, right? Instead of pushing forward at the enemies, they're pushing away to try to see what they can get Nick. And there you go. Ayden drops a big shield, and he's got another grappler too. So 2 fully charged grapplers. And is that a grenade launcher too on the ground as well?
Potentially, or maybe a tag.
Oh, no.
A blue tag? The blue tag shotgun.
Sorry,
there.
I thought that was a grenade launcher.
They're both looking at reference in the make it.
Oh, and Evan and Godnick, they're changing things up a little bit this game. They're just flying away.
There's still a time for this make it rain bonus. But one of these teams might pull ahead. Still untilted, Ayden and Nick. These boys live here.
You know, Ayden and Nick loved all the updates, I'm sure, alongside a lot of the controller players that have recently come on in with the difference in the ability to add custom binds, the ability to instant edit, change the sensitivity between when you're building and shooting normally. All these things being used by Ayden and Nick to match the caliber of these top mouse and keyboard players. And there's the make it rain bonus on the side of your screen. It's right now tied between Caliber, Nolan, and Ayden and Nickmercs. Remember, if it is tied, it will roll on over to the next game. Continue on through. Both players now at max shields. They've got 2 just below him. That's perfect tilt and Diggy. And Ayden's just going to reset with this launch pad for the moment.
The majority of this building he's on top of right now, the outside surfaces look like they've been replaced already, and Ayden and Nick might actually own it. We'll have to see as they move into here. Nick's looking, you know, stink grenades. He gets a tag. You could hear the audio cue there, which means he knows there's somebody in the bottom of this. He's going to try and go inside. He doesn't own the surfaces. He had to knock him out. There's that, oh my gosh, a laser from the side as the sandwich happens. You gotta watch out, just potentially if there's a trap in there. Gotta be careful, but Nick pushing inside. Maybe misses, he doesn't realize his AR isn't reloaded. He has the double barrel, gets the knock on perfect tilt. The trap though, he's gotta be very careful. He's gonna hug that corner so it doesn't go off. Gets that elim. Diggy is still alive somewhere in here.
That's at least 3 limbs now for Nickmercs and Ayden. That's another point for this duo.
The crowd behind us cheering for this duo. They're making sure they hold on to this. Nick has his eyes on Diggy. He's going to try and push up. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't maybe some drop down from underneath. Oh, surface replace. He's got to hear him.
There's one thing you know about
there
playing
it
with
is,
Nickmercs.
the shot on Diggy, and he gets another elim.
There's one thing you know about playing with Nickmercs. It's this man gets the double barrel, and now on the right side of your screen, look at the make it rain bonus. They've got the lead right now as time's ticking down. Here's some earlier on. Lands right on 1. This Villix didn't even react.
Basically makes Villix eat that double barrel. Meanwhile, Ayden, this is still earlier, sneaks inside the box and gets Giganza, catches him off guard on the inside. That's 4 elims total this game, all 4 of them in the make it rain bonus. And inside this box, Nickmercs with the number of traps gets a knock on Cease. This could be number 5 and gets it. Elevate goes down to the trap as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, they're coming to life.
Absolutely dominating this game. 58 players left. 6 elims. They're 1 away from 3 points based on elims away. And I got to say, Jack, I think this make it rain bonus is in the bag for them. 24 seconds left.
These 2 boys are about
They're not done yet. They're pushing up top. Ayden's got more players above him. The comms between these 2 we were watching earlier, you can see
Nick
Nick
huge build battle right now. It's Morgossi and Saint versus Nickmercs and Ayden. Nick and Ayden trailing, getting some damage done. If they get these 2, they're in big bonus territory. Ayden matching this. Look at what he's doing right. Absolutely stunning. He's got the high ground for the moment. The shot comes in.
Are you kidding me?
By Saint.
Nick fighting it out.
There's the other, and Nick's on his feet, folks. It's big bonus as the duo has made this arena erupt.
Look at Nickmercs' materials at this point as well. He's sitting on over 2,500. The share with Ayden's got to be coming up here in a second. They take a moment to recoup from this. And Jack, These boys just showed up big.
And they are not done yet. Tilted Towers, it's theirs. Build Battles, it's theirs. And they are hungry for more. Already a 4-point game for Nickmercs and Ayden. And they've got the high ground, they've got the health and mats to do it. This could be how they rise back up the ranks. We mentioned how they needed to come back, and there it is. I mean, they've got double the amount of limbs a second. Nick is just firing on down. Every other limb they get from here is big bonus. Every limb is another point. They know this. They know how key this is right now.
Jack, 50 players left at this point. Is a little bit of a heart attack there, I think, for everybody. As Nick drops down just a little bit.
This man doesn't stop. They're not even together anymore.
Aggressive push. He doesn't even care. Ayden see what they've been doing this entire time, but it might cost them.
We've seen this before, though.
Happened in a previous match. A little bit too aggressive. Yes. Ayden's gonna, at this point, most likely slow down just a second. Catch his breath. You have to realize he's got to push when his teammate is available. Now's the time to take advantage of this.
Nick,
they both know that.
He's right on the edge of the zone. He's got to move on in. There you go. Still doing it.
It's all materials. Ayden needs material backup from Nick. Nick's sitting on quite a bit here, so material share is going to be.
He's also got shields for him, but this is the downside of them being so split, you know? Ayden's just got to get. Ayden needs to get lost for a second here in all these builds, and he couldn't be further from the next zone. That's another big worry now, too.
These hand grenades might come in key. He's just going to huck some grenades as high as he can. I think he's trying to drop them in on a structure from above, and he's doing so actually really well against the knock-on. Cool! The heavy snipe swaps! Here it comes, he's going for another pair as he pushes in. Gets the Elim on Ghoul. There's one left from that duo, still alive. 65, and there was a rift just in front of him. He's going to go in for it.
No way.
Can he make it in time?
No.
He can't. He's got to rotate with the Storm Jack, and he's got to stay ahead of it. He's got tons of players in front of him. He might actually get this one as well.
No! He gets shot in the back. Nick is still in this, though. Nick can fire from above. He's got tags on one. He's got eyes on another, but Nick's got to move. He still has a ton of materials and shield. Nick now, though, he's in the fray with everybody else and no longer can just aim down on others. He's getting tagged by this zone down to 33 HP, down to 25 HP, down to 17 HP, down to 9 HP.
And that's 9 eliminations total for this duo, though, Jack. Ayden very low on HP.
Look at Nick's materials, legitimately 0.
Full zeros. Half mats.
Half mats. Needed now more than ever. Both teams traded damage, and there's that third party we talk about. Nickmercs gets tagged.
It's got to be Zexro and Vinny coming in from that side.
And Nick's now knocked.
There it is.
They do the same thing every time. Nick's fall skirmish run is over with that elimination. It's going to be up to Ayden to try to make some magic happen.
We saw him actually, if you recall, I think during the fall skirmish in a solo week, maybe it was summer skirmish,